Alright, welcome to another week of Ether Rays. We're starting the week off against Jen, and we're gonna use the, Crown team. I'm sure that you've seen me use this team before. Very, very fun team, always enjoy using it, so we're just gonna snipe and back off. Again, another team that is pretty much boxed in, but this time I'm gonna have to break some of these structures just to get at them, which will give them an opening. So yeah, a little bit more challenging than normal, but we should still be fine in the end. So I'm gonna set this up and get in. But in any case, let's see what's going on here. Flare, very high res, 70 res. It's normal for her. Hardy bearing. Ooh, okay. Okay. Alright, so green's here.
Let's get festive!
But that shouldn't be too much of a problem. We can still hit and run this pretty successfully. I think we're gonna take either Yunaka. I think it's probably best to target Yunaka here. One less range unit to deal with. Or the enemy Yunaka, of course. And then we back out and wait for whatever happens after that. I do have I do have Igrin. I think I mentioned that before.
I'll do it.
I didn't get any. Yeah, I definitely mentioned. I didn't get anything else on the banner. I was kind of hoping to probably get a copy of Altina as well, but I mean, it is what it is. Whatever. There'll be another unit at some point that has Brave Vantage. Or I mean, there's already a legendary Alir. So kind of have that covered, but although not really the same thing ish, you know. But anyways, I've been doing a lot of testing with her because I saw that defense that I showed you guys last week in that defense in that last match, and the infantry line, and I was trying to just create like a replica of it. With my own spin, of course, because the units are going to be different. And what I had said after seeing the defense and just testing it out was that it loses straight up to Altina, or at least that version of it that he had. It loses to Altina and it loses to Dual Byleth. So typically, I'm not going to build a defense if it's not going to defeat the strongest nuke the strongest unit that's currently in the game. There's really no point. If you're gonna build a defense, definitely you want to make sure that you're able to take out the strongest unit of the game. Probably, depending on the setup, maybe his was able. No. I tried it. It wasn't happening. You definitely would have needed different unit choices. But yeah.
Let's get festive.
The thing that impressed me the most was, we get it from here. I think we go for Yunaka first. Yeah, I think we go for Yunaka first here, and then back out. But yeah, the thing that impressed me the most about that defense was the my brain is stalling. The thing that impressed me the most was Tina, right? And how she was able to steal the status effects that the enemy or that your team had, and was able to pass that off to the supporting units, the supporting infantry units. I found that to be very, very powerful. So what I decided to do was to incorporate that with Igrin. And I was thinking of maybe trying to add Citrine as well, but I couldn't really make the Citrine link work very well, so I kind of gave up on that idea. And I resorted to just making sure that I had the positionings close enough to kind of just be around Tina. So you should be seeing it in the defense replays in a couple of days from now, just to see how it did. I had started off with the Cavline variant. I was really just tinking around with building the Cavline variant of it, but ultimately I felt like I was a little bit unsatisfied with the outcomes that I was getting. I don't know, I probably still put it out. I don't know. as of recording this, I'm kind of like not 100% sold on it, but we'll see what happens because I'm still working on it as of recording this. But really what it is that, I said the worst thing that you want to do is lane bait, and if each lane has only one unit that can go down that lane, if you don't have overlapping ranges,
you have my all.
You're gonna lose. It's very easy to take out a cav defense. Once you have the space to be safe for the first turn, once you have the space in your back row, or if you're just able to shut down the enemy team for the first turn because of defense or whatever it may be, typically you're usually solid in terms of having a method of taking out the opposing team, or at least just get them going so that you can maneuver around and take out the units as they come down. So yeah, that was really the problem in terms of just getting enough of the units to cover the weaknesses of, let's say, a particular lane. Let's say the lane had a blue unit, you want to get a green unit over there just to play backup in the event that you needed some type of coverage there. Let's see, what do I do here? A lot of options in terms of who to take out first, but ultimately I want to get these two range units. Green is going to be able to move 3 spaces, and then the warp, it's not going to be good for me. Hold on here, let me think about this. This is going to take a little bit of thought to get done. And then she could also break that block, Grin, and come down the back, which is dangerous. Then there's Golveg who can break the block. There's a lot going on here. This is not a good position to be in. Oh man. And I don't think I have enough actions to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units. I don't think I have enough actions to take out 6 units here, but Freyr is definitely the first one that it makes sense to take out, since that'll lay down the terrain to prevent any warping from happening. And then after this, probably Katria, since she's the one that's providing the warp. Where do I put Ratatasker? This is not a thought out plan. I'm not sure what I'm doing here. I'm just making this up as I go along, which is kind of the strength of this team as well as kind of the downside of this team. There isn't like a direct path to victory here. No longer able to get that kill because I'm no longer solo. Hold on here, let me try to make a decision. Alright, so we're gonna take out this Sonya here. Not much of a plan, but she's open for an attack, so we're gonna go ahead and take her. And then I don't know what to do after that. Again, this team doesn't have a straightforward path to victory. It's not like a Gale Force team or anything like that. It's really a hit and run team with some type of Gale Force component there with Crom. But because of that, it's very flexible in terms of how I can approach defenses. It's just that sometimes you still need a plan. Like right now, I'm trying to figure out where to put this Yunaka so that I can benefit the most from having her be available, because I have 2 Crom options here that I can play, and then I also need to be able to get out because I don't want to be within Igreen's range, which is the problem with Rattata right now. Rattata's in Igreen's range. And then there's also the dance from Mirabilis that I'd have to consider, because if anyone stops on that flame terrain, then Mirabilis is going to be able to dance. That's going to be not good. So there's a lot going on here, and I don't think I have enough space to back up into, particularly because I've already moved Rattata. And if I go too far in the other direction, there's only one more space on the left-hand side that I could potentially hide in, and it's just not going to be enough. So I'm going to have to take out. I'm thinking potentially I'm going to have to get all the way up to Miraculous here, just to ensure safety, or at least take out both Golvig and Igreen on this turn, which is a tall order because I am not seeing a path right now. Hopefully Crown can take out orders. Okay. Alright, I was really hoping that Crown would have been able to double there, but that's not happening. Not enough buffs, I guess.
May I?
If I had known that, I probably would have went in with Legendary Crown instead.
Don't worry, dear.
Alright, so I'm gonna need to reconsider that plan. What do I do here? Because I'm kind of in a really bad position right now. Okay, alright, I'm gonna need to turn on my brain here. Hold on. Alright, so after a very long time that I won't mention, it took me really long time to come up with this strategy. I have a plan here. And again, that's what I was saying about the flexibility of this team. Because, yep, I'm able to now do this. I think we're going to go with the Cordelia here because that's guaranteed Gale Force because of the number of attacks there. So I get special acceleration, plus she hits me. So that's definitely Gale Force right there. But yeah, the flexibility of having... I mean, I think this is just coming down to the fact that Chrom is amazing. Brave Chrom and Legendary Chrom here have the extra actions and really just make up for anything that's lacking on this team. I think I could do without Legendary Camilla on this team. She doesn't offer that much. I've said this before. And I could probably even do without Yunaka as well. Just because they don't offer that much. I could probably swap them out for units that offer more action economy, which is really the name of the game. You want as many actions as possible out of your units, as well as the fact that you need them to kill things as well. So don't forget that. But yeah, this plan that I came up with, just spur of the moment, will actually spur of like half an hour. That's how long it took me to think this through. Because really we needed to get rid of both of these range units and also possibly Miraculous, but I decided to instead tank Miraculous because she's not going to be able to take out either of these either of these Chroms, and I'm going to leave Legendary Chrom in range so that she can attack into Legendary Chrom, because if she attacked Brave Chrom, she would have died and I wouldn't have gotten any of the pots. So crisis averted. I'm going to... Yep, there we go, and you get to see Miraculous now attack into Legendary Chrom. I'm not sure if anyone saw that. I'm not sure if anyone would have seen that. Probably would have given up. A lot of people would have given up at that point, but I knew I had the actions to do it. I just needed to think it through, because once I had Plumeria available for the dance, yeah, I knew it was possible. So there you go, man. That's the power of to change fate there with the Chroms. Just being able to move that far up the map. That's way more than 3 spaces, which is typically the maximum range of these units. Yeah, just being able to do that in one turn with what, like a couple of actions already taken. Fantastic, if I don't say so myself. So that brings the map to a close. Very challenging because of the hole that I put myself in, but GG's were able to get the win. See you in the next one. Okay, so here's our second match for the day. We're coming against Gastalt, and we're going to use the same team. It's basically another boxed-in team. We're going to hit and run this as well. This one should be a lot more straightforward because I don't have to create an opening this time to let them out. Yeah, again, stop boxing in your teams. It's not helping. You're gonna lose, especially with how strong nukes are these days. You're gonna lose. Don't box your units in. You want them to be able to have an avenue out. I mean, it is a double-edged sword, because the whole point of boxing your units in is to keep them safe for at least the first turn or turns after that, so that the enemy team has to break you down. But trust me, people have time. 7 turns is a lot of time to go about breaking down someone's defense. You'll be able to come up with ways to do that. especially with how strong nukes are, how strong melee units are. There's a lot of things that you can do to bust through an opponent's defense. So don't box yourself in. I think it's better. I mean, even though you're sacrificing the opening, allowing your opponent to be able to reach you on like whatever turn it may be, you also need your team to attack the opponent. If you can't attack the opponent, there's no way you're going to win. I mean, stall balls were a thing, but armored units just can't live hits nowadays. So yeah, especially with for Morticize to save, you're not Cram's just going to eat through them. With that aside, maybe if there's like some type of
your orders,
if you have like a really good strategy, like I've seen Fallen Maria do it, but like I don't know, it's not worth it. Fatal Smoke 4 is a thing now. It's not worth it. Yeah, don't box your units in. Now that aside, I was saying that I was testing with a green and she just does not kill Violet like at all. Like I know the AoE is powerful, and basically you're 100% depending on the AoE to hit, because if it misses, she dies. Like I think the only way she can defeat him is if she has Desperation 4 with some type of special acceleration. Because if she's not able to get the Deadeye off, she's not gonna win. She's not beating Violet, which is unfortunate. Definitely with triangle attack, you will get the kill without the AoE, so that's an option if you are having struggles, but don't depend on her to take off Violet, is what I would say. Try to outsource that to some other unit. Her support is fantastic in terms of being able to provide that extra movement to all of your infantry units and all of your armored units as well, which is one of the reasons that I wanted that range snap skill, because that is so strong, that extra movement being offered, but ultimately it just wasn't available enough. So I think this is another reason why I specifically picked the harmonic unit from the banner instead of any of the other units. I mean, I could have picked Ultina as well, but that extra movement that she provides, plus the fact that she can that it provides you with the ability to move through tree tiles, that is just a fantastic support for infantry units. It's definitely something that they need. It's an alternative to warping. Mobility is everything in this game. Mobility is like win or lose. Mobility is something that you need. And basically she just provides that like to so many units that are hindered because of their movement. And I think the biggest beneficiaries of her support is armored units, because without that you'd have to like depend on assault troop or that armored stride that Fallen Edelgard came with, but now you don't really have to depend on those two options, and the C skill for armored units is a lot more flexible, which allows them to do so much more, because that's one of the reasons that Brave Edelgard is so strong, because she has the ability to move 2 spaces. So if you're able to just pass it around to more of your armored units, it makes them a lot more useful. So building armors is definitely a thing to consider now. 2 movement on someone like Zelgius, Ninja Zelgius, fantastic just to think about. Plus the warp on top of that. If you don't change his C skill, you can now if you want to, but if you just the 2 movement alone, it's so beneficial. I was struggling with that on, I think it was, well, it's still not necessarily there, because there's a diagonal that the warp versus the 3 movement, it's still beneficial to have the 3 movement if you can. If you just want to keep assault troop, I think it's still beneficial to have, but just being able to outsource the extra movement, you can make pretty much every armored unit can turn into, or has the potential to turn into, a Brave Edelgard, or even probably kind of mimic Winter Edelgard, which is pretty cool if you think about it. It helps a lot with Gale Horse plays, just the movement and the terrain passing, and I don't know, man, I just think she's a very, very good support. She's not Katria level, and Katria isn't even meta anymore. Katria is like tier 1. So I'd rank her probably like tier 2. Somewhere around like bonus doubler level, I think. But I've still been testing out her on the infantry line, and she just doesn't, as I was saying, she doesn't kill Byleth unless she has Deadeye and has some way to ramp into Deadeye.
You have my all.
Or just Catra. Catra is the equalizer, so if you have Catra, then you don't need to worry about it. But I was saying that she doesn't kill Byleth because of the fact that if you're planning to run her on an infantry line, you probably want to make it so that she's not baitable. Because if she is, and the opponent brings Winter Byleth, you're gonna have potentially a loss there because her lane is gonna be weak. She has not like some of the best matchups against green units, and then Byleth, as I mentioned, is gonna be able to beat her. So if you're gonna have her as a support unit, you probably want her in the back, or just lock her so that she doesn't move turn 1. Is what I would recommend. You'd really be looking at support nukes. Like unfortunately, there aren't that many infantry nukes that take out Byleth. Aside from Legendary Crom, who is currently in season, but once the water season is over, I don't know like where you're going to turn to. You definitely want Desperation or at least armor effective damage, and there aren't that many infantry units that have both, aside from Legendary Crom, who can, if you have, you can do that on Legendary Crom. It's actually not a bad build now that I think about it. But yeah, not a lot of options there. You do have a few flyers that are able to do that, like Tea Time Lysithia. Alright, maybe just one flyer. Maybe if Hinoka had Desperation, she could do it.
I'll handle this.
May I?
I'm gonna look into that with the whole Hinoka thing, because Hinoka does hit pretty hard. It's just the fact that, oh, I forgot about Legendary Shez. Legendary Shez can do it. But yeah, that's like what, 2 units? Yeah, not a lot.
Your orders?
And I don't think there's gonna be a lot of units available that are gonna be able to take out. You might get like one in the next banner next month. But aside from that, we're gonna be dealing with Byleth for a while, and I like that. I like that he's not going anywhere as quickly as Corrin got power crept, because Corrin got power crept on the very next banner. So I like that this Byleth is sticking around for a little while. I don't mind it.
Close your eyes.
Kind of similar to when Bridal Tiki came out. Bridal Tiki stuck around for a little bit. But yeah, that's just what I think in terms of building the defensive structure for an infantry line. I'm sticking Tina in there. You'll probably, as I said, you'll see it depending on if I'm able to get the build just right. But if I'm doing it, I'm definitely sticking Tina in there just because of how creative it can end up being with her around.
Your plan.
Aside from that, I'm still looking for the final. They probably need about 2 more nukes just to make it work, just to make it threatening. And I'm looking to fill those 2 positions. And I'm also looking to make it so that it's not like there has to be a trick to it. If you're building a cav line defense, it can't just be straightforward. There has to be some type of trick. And I'm having some trouble trying to get the trick to be consistent. But I'll figure it out. Or maybe I won't. I don't know. Maybe I'm just gonna scrap the whole idea altogether, because as I said, I'm not gonna put out a defense if it doesn't beat Byleth. So that's just where my head is at. GG's. See you in the next one.